Hello everybody, I'd like to show you how I refurbish pipes. Now recently I won the Ben Wade pipe from PipeFran CHS's contest, and I decided what better time than now to show you guys how I clean pipes. So here I have 100% pure petroleum jelly. I'll use that to protect the stem, which I'll show in just a second. Kosher salt. Kosher salt. Next we have Everclear grain alcohol. Next thing is an eyedropper. This allows for a controlled application of the alcohol when you're applying it on the salt during the treatment. I use a little shot glass to put the alcohol in just to kind of, make it nice and easy for transfer there. I've got a bowl of bleach where I will be putting the stems in. So you will need some bleach as well, especially if the stem is severely oxidized and or has a lot of bite marks on it. Now, of course, the bleach only works for rubber or vulcanite stems. Acrylic stems, they won't have any effect. The bleach won't have any effect on the acrylic, or at least not as much as it would on a rubber stem. So, keep that in mind. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is work on the stem here. Here, you can see the Ben Wade carved into the stem, and that's where I will be applying the petroleum jelly. So here we go. Have some Q-tips on hand. And basically what you want to do is just kind of splotch it on there. The reason I'm putting the Vaseline on the name here is so that it doesn't eat away at the name, because that's what the bleach does. It actually eats away at the rubber. So, the next thing you want to cover, see I covered that up pretty thickly there. Alright, the next thing, and this is very crucial, you need to apply the petroleum jelly to the tenon next. And here, I would definitely apply this generously. Because you do not want the stem to be smaller than the mortise. Now, you can see I kind of covered up the air hole there. I want to clear that out actually, because I want the bleach to actually go inside as well. Now I will put the stem in the bleach bath. And when you're placing it in here, try to be gentle so that you don't rub off a lot of that Vaseline that you just put on there. I don't know if you can see it bubbling, but yeah, you can see the oxidation coming off. So you don't want to leave it in there for more than an hour or 2 hours, depending on the severity of the oxidation and or bite marks. So you have to keep an eye on it and make sure that it's not being eaten all the way through. So we'll keep that there for a little while. I'll check back on it, and let's move on to the next step. So the next step is to thoroughly clean the shank and the bowl of any leftover dottle or tobacco, and do a thorough ream of inside the bowl. Alright, so now just a basic cleaning, just kind of getting all the dry dottle out and any other craziness that might be left in there. And actually what I like to use is a paper towel. Do like a little paper towel ream first in the bowl. This kind of helps loosen up everything that's in there. Also, this helps get the stuff at the very bottom or the heel of the bowl that a pipe reamer may not necessarily be able to get as easily. Oh yeah. As you can see, the cake is actually not very thick, so I'm not going to have to do much of a ream on here. So let's see how the senior reamer works with this pipe. And even with the 3-prong fully out, it's still very loose in there. So Very big bowl, of course. But that's still okay. In fact, what I'm going to do is actually retract all of the prongs and now simply use the flat sides. And I like doing it this way because in another video I've made regarding this, when you have all the prongs out and fully extended out, it tends to only ream on this bent portion. I like to have these prongs in their default state so that I can use the flat sides here. If you're wondering what this pink thing is, it's actually a gift wrap paper. So don't worry, I'm not bleeding. You always want to constantly check the reaming and make sure you're not actually digging into the wood. I do not like to actually remove all of the cake. I don't like to ream it to the bare wood. I know there are those out there who would recommend that, but in my opinion, I feel like the salt and alcohol treatment extracts enough of the tars and oils and flavors out of the existing cake so that the cake can remain, but I don't have to taste the previous tobacco. You know, half of the work is done for me. There's a cake already there. It's kind of already broken in, you know, and there's no reason, in my opinion, to remove that all the way. If you want to ream it all the way down to the wall, that's perfectly fine. You'll just be working a little harder to build up the cake and basically re-break in the pipe. And that's fine, no problem. It's just I don't see it as necessary. Also, the good news is that Pipe Friend smoked Billy Bud in here and other English tobaccos, I guess. I don't know exactly everything he smoked in here, but I'm assuming he smoked Billy Bud. And cigar blends or English blends, they don't necessarily leave a pungent odor and or flavor left over in the pipe. It's, from my experience, I found it a lot easier to refurbish pipes that have had English blends or cigar blends in them than it is to try to get an aromatic smell out of a pipe. Good luck with that one. It's possible, but it takes a lot of work, that's all. Alright, so once I've reamed a good bit of the cake down, I like to take another paper towel and do another paper towel ream, or basic wipe down of the inside. This just helps me really see how much I've reamed. Otherwise, there's a lot of cake powder in there that, you know, when I'm reaming, it kind of just powders up inside the bowl, and it kind of covers everything up, so you can't really see exactly what you've done. So you see what I mean? Wipes off like that. And now I get to look in there and see everything I've done. Alright, so that actually looks pretty good. A little bit of cake left, not much. I mean, it is very, very little cake. So I'm going to leave that where it is and continue on with the salt and alcohol treatment.